NBA banquet. She is some kind of sports fan. The Los Angeles Dodgers in baseball. Atlanta Hawks. All right. Now the mother of the President of the United States leaves the center of the floor. She'll be sitting here at courtside, shaking hands with Jimmy the Greek. Don Crickey, seated alongside of the Greek. We'll hear from both of them this afternoon. And now it is showtime. And Keith Erickson and Jake O'Donnell will be working this game with Jim Capers. And a little bit of an added incentive for the most valuable player, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is. This might be the first game in history, Brent, without an assist.
Why is that?
They're giving a car away for the most valuable player.
The fourth quarter should be something. All right. Collins and Walton will tip it off. There is the Eastern Conference All-Stars in the white. They have control. Gervin to Collins. Here is Larry Keenan. That is tipped away by Westfall and Havlicek off iron. Back to Hondo. He's got the game's first field goal.
It didn't take him long to put it up, did he, Brent?
Now it is the West coming back. Pass from Barry to Walton out of bounds. It'll go to the East.
Good call by the official there. Bill Walton touching that ball. Barry tried to get the lob pass over a little bit too low. Collins got a hand on it, and then it went off Bill to go out of bounds.
Irvin and Havlicek in the backcourt for the East. Here's Collins, the center. Walton on him. Great pass to the doctor. Couldn't control it underneath. Gervin in on top of Lucas, and here's the doctor. Inning move on David Thompson, who stuck right with Irving. All right. Knocked away and out of bounds. I detect a little tension out there.
I say, and that's about the most acrobatic non-play you'll ever see a player make. The doctor doing it all. Didn't even get a shot up.
Collins and Lucas off with a pass to Walton, his teammate. Collins came back and fouled him. What do you think Collins' strategy will be against a taller Bill Walton, Keith?
Well, he's just going to have to out-hustle him. There's no way that he can, you know, play him heads up. He's got to just do everything that he does normally. He's all hard out there. He's just going to go 110% the entire game. Try and keep him away from the ball and the board. I will say this, on that last play, though, there were a couple of owners that were shaking in the boots to see Bill Walton going in and Collins going after him on a wide-open layup. You know, that's the kind of a play where a guy can really get hurt.
Walton ties it at 2. Just underway with the 28th annual NBA All-Star Game from Atlanta. Collins playing out high. Gervin, the cutter. And Lucas powers off the rebound. One shot that time for the East. Here's Thompson. So it'll go now to the Eastern All-Stars. It's David Thompson on the West. Start down court. And Walton telling David how he wants him to cut off a certain play.
Come on, baby. Come on.
Barry on the doctor. Lucas came in and a loose ball call by Jimmy Capers as he came up over the top that time. And Collins has assessed his first personal of the game, or make that 2 already. So 2 on Collins, 2 team fouls, tied at 2. Barry.
This game is pretty typical so far, Brent, in the first few minutes here. These guys are, you know, they haven't played with each other before. We're seeing some bad shots, some hurried shots. Ball handling is pretty shaky. They'll smooth out.
Second field goal. Westfall, the Phoenix Suns, ties it at 4.
That's a beautiful shot. He just came across the tee and just looked like he had every confidence in the world that ball was going in, just like it did.
Keith, I think I made a mistake. That field goal put them ahead by 2, as George Gervin now has tied it for the East.
Well, I know that George Gervin is happy with that shot. He played in this game last year and went 0 for 6. He told his friends to be watching. He's ready this year.
Barry's second field goal has the West back up by 2. Lucas came in, collected the ball out of bounds.
We can hear them calling a lot of plays out here. That's pretty interesting.
Knocked away from Keenan. Berry runs it down over his head, and he overlets Paul Westfall. And Westfall crashes into one of our cameramen down there.
Rick Berry and Bill Walton are telling him to get that guy off the floor.
Irvin and Havlicek bring it up for the East. Keenan knocked away by Berry. Here's Westfall. He'll put it up to the forecourt for the West with Lucas, Walton, and Berry up front. And Berry has already tossed in a couple of field goals. Coach Jack Ramsey right behind him, giving 3 for the game.
That was a long shot.
What do we say? Rick Berry's got the rear axle of that car off. Havlicek outside and 3, and Hondo's got the front bumper.
They might both have the same axle right now, I'll tell you.
Westfall, pretty play.
I'd say that's what Rick Berry does as well as any forward in this league. Any big man. He can pass that ball.
The East is getting 1 shot down the floor.
3-on-2 break here.
Thompson. And it's a 14-8 lead by the West. Rebounding could be a big difference. The West has the size. Artis Gilmore and Bob Lanier over on Jack Ramsey's bench.
It's interesting to see the styles of these two teams. They really reflect the styles of the coaches, which is it's amazing in an all-star game that they can come out and it'll show that much.
That's the first miss from the field. 6 of 7. Now the East comes back, and here's Keenan. Towers with an offensive rebound went to the doctor. Walton threw it over on defense. Irving wanted the foul. Outlet to Westfall. Havlicek back. Foul is called as Hondo cut off Westfall. Billy Cunningham wants a timeout. I can see him up now over in front of the East bench.
17. Timeout, White. 17.
Jake O'Donnell gives it to him, and so the Eastern Conference will go over. They trail early by a score of 14-8. And Keith, I would imagine that Moses Malone or Truck Robinson will have to get in there soon to give Billy some muscle off that glass. There's the NBA Commissioner Lawrence O'Brien, seated alongside Miss Lillian, watching the action of this, the 28th annual NBA All-Star Game from Atlanta. Keith, we had some wireless mics on Cunningham and Ramsey in the huddles, and Billy was pointing out to the Eastern Stars that they're not making a good transition back on defense.
That's right. The West already has got a couple of rebounds, gotten it out, and run a picture-perfect fast break, the way they should. Jack Ramsey is, he's got these guys playing together as a team already, which is pretty incredible for a group of all-stars to come together their first time.
No substitutions yet. Only starter missing is Pete Maravich, out with an injury. Pass back to Irving from Cowens. It'll go over to the West.
Awful lot of traffic in there. Dave tried to force the ball into Julius cutting to the basket, but there were about 4 or 5 guys right there.
The West leading at 15-8. They've got possession, and here is Walton. And Berry. 1 shot that time for the West. Keenan has it on the floor for the East. Keenan up with a miss, and there his teammate George Gervin put it back, and Keenan comes back. So 3 shots that time, and they finally cash in.
Well, they're really hitting that board. Dave Cowens is in there. Gervin got a rebound. Keenan got a couple of them.
Westfall responds.
You know what's so great about these guys is it looks like they're taking bad shots, poor shots. Rick Berry took a shot from about 28 feet a minute ago. Paul Westfall just took the top of the key. The ball goes, it's just a clean shot.
Lucas dueling the doctor. Now Walton switches over. Keenan coming up.
Very surprising to see that the East has been able to get to the offensive boards as well as they have so far in this game.
Lucas back to Walton, knocks away, and on the turnover, the East coming back. Now the West got back well on defense. Here's Hondo. Westfall. They got 3-on-1. Back to Westfall. pressure off Keenan. Walton with him. We're seeing some one-on-one moves, aren't we?
We're seeing it, I'll tell you. These guys are taking it to the hole.
David Thompson. Just whoever gets it is going for it.
Here comes David. He said, well, there are only 3 guys in front of me.
Down comes Lucas. Off to Thompson. Westfall to Walton.
That's a pass right there. That's a gorgeous pass. Here's Westfall with the ball. Faking Havlicek out, seeing Walton wide open underneath. Nice, easy play. Dished it off for a slam dunk.
Go, 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 go.
21 to 12. There will be some substitutions shortly. Irving put it down, and Barry caught him.
24 head.
Well, there's a man you recognize, Ray Charles, a great musician, putting on a headset so he can listen to the call of the game on radio. Marvelous man. He was at the banquet last night, and he so enjoyed talking to Julius Irving. I was there when the two talked, and Julius said, Ray, I've enjoyed your music so much through the years. And, you know, Ray said, Doctor, I've enjoyed what you do on the basketball floor, too.
He plays just as great music out on the floor, doesn't he?
He really does. There's the coach of the West, Jack Ramsey, down in that familiar position on one knee. Now we've got Collins out there. Truck Robinson is there. And for Collins, his first field goal.
That's not a shot for a, that's not a shot for a center, is it? 25-foot jump shot from the corner.
Curtis Gilmore coming up on Collins.
Gilmore Davis.
Here's Gilmore faking the pass. Collins came off a little bit to try and help out. Gilmore got him in the air, and he had no recourse since he was in the air. Gilmore went to the basket. Collins fouled him to pick up his 3rd, I believe.
Over there on the east bench, we've got Moses Malone, Elvin Hayes, as Collins goes out and McAdoo checks in. Randy Smith has not been in. Let's set the lineups now because of all the substituting that's gone on. He's coming down, McAdoo, with Doug Collins, Truck Robinson, John Havlicek, and Julius Irving. They trail it by 8 points, and they have possession. You know, Keith, the doctor has been off a little bit the last week, and I notice here he doesn't have his timing down offensively.
No, he's just missing by a hair. That ball is so soft on the rim and just barely falling out.
That was Lionel Hollins off the floor and into the game. Member of the Portland Trail Blazers who put in that field goal. On defense, Artis Gilmore, Lionel Hollins, and David Thompson, Walter Davis, and Maurice Lucas. And Thompson slams it home.
He said, I'm going to put this one through and make sure about it. David Thompson can do it.
The West has controlled the game, Keith, and it shows on the scoreboard. Bobby Jones of Denver checks in, and Maurice Lucas goes out. Ramsey and Cunningham hit their benches here in the first quarter with 3 minutes and 51 seconds to go. Here's the E. Elvin Hayes. Randy Smith of Buffalo. Hayes of Washington. He was added to the team because of the injury to Billy Knight.
Jones and Winters in the West.
East are still having a problem. They just don't feel comfortable out there yet. Plays, they're not running them very smoothly like the West. Of course, it's a lot easier when you're getting fast breaks and you're getting the ball inside with nobody around you.
First foul on Jones.
Robinson is line shooting 2.
One rookie on these 2 All-Star teams in the game right now. Walter Davis from the Phoenix Suns.
And he's a great one. He's going to be around for a long time.
Never bashful. McAdoo, and here's Collins. Off to the E. Oh, Gilmore on a rejection.
A beautiful block by Artis Gilmore. About 3 feet above the rim.
Brian Winters of the Milwaukee Bucks. Here's Davis. Robinson taking him.
2 passes in a row out there, Brent. 3.
Davis, and Robinson fouled it. Right now, let's go to Don Cricky.
Sitting with the commissioner, Larry O'Brien, is one of those nation's first ladies, Miss Lillian Carter. Do you have any favorite players?
Oh, yeah. Dave Cowens and Bill Walton. I met Bill last night, and one of the biggest thrills I got today is when he said, "Hi, Lillian." Yeah, but
They say
something-
even the president has trouble getting you on the phone as a sports event on TV. You're a fan.
He doesn't even try. He knows I won't go to the phone.
Great to have you.
Very nice being here.
Thank you, Don. 28-15. West leading the East. The East with the ball now.
One.
Collins of Philadelphia. That was Winters who moved in with that block. Of course, Doug Collins was named a starter by his coach, Billy Cunningham, but then he gave it up as a tribute to John Havlicek, who replaced Pete Maravich. The commissioner received a telegram from Maravich saying that he was very unhappy that he couldn't be here this game. We certainly hope that Pete recovers from that knee problem. He will undergo another examination next week. However, the New Orleans Jazz confident that he will not have to undergo surgery. And Keith Erickson, that has been one of the hot teams in the NBA.
Just fantastic. I think they've won about 8 games in a row. They're solidly in contention for a playoff spot right now. If they play 500 the rest of the year, I think they'll have a playoff spot.
Davis goes in the... One player who might have a problem physically today is Big Bob Lanier of the Detroit Pistons. He's the center for the West, and Lanier has been quite ill with the flu the last couple of days.
Winning throughout the nation as first the superstar. We got the winning combination. Super people, super cars. Making that extra effort to meet your special needs. Getting you in, getting you out with super speed. Hey, the superstar in rent-a-car. Hey, the superstar in rent-a-car.
You know it.
Don Nelson, the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, who has helped turn that team around with the help of a lot of impressive youngsters. Watching here in the Omni, Artis Gilmore at the free throw line. Those are our 2 leading scorers. Westfall with 7 for the West. Havlicek with 6. The West leading 29-17, and the West has played better team basketball so far.
They sure have. It's looked like they've played together for a couple of weeks already. They're passing the ball, looking for each other, and that's really important. That's the way to win this game.
Smith, Collins, Hayes takes the alley-oop. Goes to the basket for the East.
That was the Julius Erving play. Doug Collins to Big E.
Hayes with a big defensive load, switches from Gilmore, rolls back, and McAdoo got him, and Ramsey says there was a foul, but it wasn't called. Collins committed. Back-to-back hoops now, and Ramsey saying, hey, wait a minute, we had a foul down here that wasn't called.
Ramsey looked like the wooden Indian in front of the storefront there with his arms up.
Bobby Jones at Denver, and Chuck Robinson, and the East can make it 3 straight field goals. Cut it to 9. Off McAdoo and Hayes and out of bounds.
Elvin on the side, going back door on Artis Gilmore. Elvin knows the pass is going to be there. Gilmore got completely turned around, had no idea. Right. They made it during the timeout. It was a beautiful play.
Knocked away. Gilmore retains. Can't stop him underneath in that spot, as Chicago Bull fans so well know. Greg Morris watching Mission Impossible. They still making that show, Keith Erickson? I think it's probably syndicated, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they're making it anymore. Just the old rerun.
Here's Brian Winters, left side. Collins out of bounds, so it'll now go over to the East. It is 32-21, West ahead.
It's a little sloppy out here right now. They're just running back and forth, throwing the ball anywhere. They've got to settle down a little bit, run some plays.
Randy Smith and pushing call against Collins.
I guess that's the play. You just come down and put it up. That's what they're running, huh?
If this is just the first quarter, what's going to happen in the fourth when that automobile's on the line, Keith Erickson?
They're going to be tugging on the coach's pants to get back in the game.
I don't know, though. With this group of talent out there and the money they make, I'm surprised they're not giving a couple of Rolls Royces away.
You know, it's probably not enough incentive. They don't need
another car, right?
A little car like that.
Here's Holland, 32-23, 1:20 to go in the first quarter. Gilmore underneath and unstoppable. Fouled as he hit the field goal.
You know, that play is so tough. We'll see when Artis Gilmore gets the ball. Walter Davis makes a beautiful pass to him. Watch Gilmore, when he gets Hayes up in the air, he takes the ball to the basket. You know, most guys have a tendency to shoot that ball going away. They've got the foul, but Gilmore made sure on the basket. Right, he just had his hand right in the hoop.
The East and White, and they trail it 35-23 with 1:10 to go in the first quarter here in Atlanta. McAdoo. This is control. McAdoo again.
I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of that. That was a gorgeous shot by Bob McAdoo. He sure didn't take long to put it up, though.
Nor does Walter Davis, the rookie from Phoenix at the other end.
Walter Davis is fit right in here, you know. Being the only rookie in the game, I've watched him the way he's been acting around these guys, and it's like he's a little timid, and he's very unsure of himself, whereas the other guys have come out, and they're...
As a reminder, next week on the CBS Sports Spectacular, Sports Spectacular will feature the World Welterweight Championship, Palomino and Sotomachi. 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS. And also Jack Whitaker, Women in Sports. Hayes up over Gilmore. Winters pushes it down for the West. Here's Bryan. Great outside shooter.
He can definitely shoot that ball from the outside. And that was another beautiful pass by Walter Davis, looking for the open man.
Randy Smith had it knocked away, and he was fouled.
Shows the quickness of Randy Smith out there. There was barely any room to get through those two guys, and he got right between them. Passed the ball back. He is one of the quickest guys in the whole NBA. One.
That was an all-star groan underneath Keith Erickson. Hayes and Gilmore collide.
Big artist said he smacked me on my back, Rep.
Time left in the first quarter. Boy, he battled through that pick, did Randy Smith. Davis outside. Up over the top. On the side. Go to the east. They trail at 39-26.
3 seconds to go here in the quarter. Got to get a quick shot up.
Hayes in, and it's good. Randy Smith firing at the buzzer. Hits one for the Eastern Conference All-Stars. There it is. You can watch him release it. And it made the score 39-28 West over the East. The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Basketball Association. We begin the second quarter of this, the 28th annual NBA All-Star Game. The West with the ball and the lead right now, 39-28. And Bob Lanier of Detroit on the floor. He and Winters were playing catch and a foul. There's Dave Cowens looking on. He started at center for the East. John Havlicek in his 13th All-Star game. His 13th and final one. He closes out a great career with Boston this year. Robinson of New Orleans with a twisting move inside.
Leonard Robinson, not one of the big favorites here in Atlanta. Left his team at the end of last season and went to the New Orleans Jazz. Got roundly booed here at the beginning of the game.
There comes out. Cross court to Winters. And he stepped on the out-of-bounds line. Smith, Collins, Hayes, McAdoo, and Robinson on the floor for the East. Doug Collins and Winters came in behind and fouled him.
That's the kind of a foul that gives your coach gray hairs. Guy on the outside, he saw him coming. Rick Barry wants to move down and tell the coach what to do there, doesn't he? Doug Collins saw Brian Winters coming in and shot the ball a little bit quick anyway. That's all you have to do is just force the guy to shoot it a little quick. And then Brian went ahead and fouled him. He was out about 25 feet. Not a necessary foul.
Now for the West. Collins, Lanier, Jones, Winters, and Davis. This is Walter Davis.
They're really firing that ball around, aren't they?
Collins up over Smith. Robinson gives the West just one shot that time. Jones with control. Collins in the middle off to Lanier. Marvelous shooter from right there if he gets daylight. McAdoo came up on him. Next year in Detroit, the Pistons' home games will be played out of the Pontiac Silverdome. As you watch this foul again in slow motion, Lanier made the move. McAdoo leaving his feet and fouling him. Moses Malone, number 24, checks in for the East, and Elvin Hayes goes out.
This Big Moses is probably the best offensive rebounder this league has seen. He is sensational. Somebody described him as trying to keep an octopus off the boards. He's armed all over the place.
Rick Barry back on the floor for the Western Conference All-Stars. He once was the most valuable player in this game, scored 38 points. That was back in the 60s. Knocked away. McAdoo with control. Quickly to Collins, who wanted Malone, coming in with a pass a little bit too fancy and out of bounds on the turnover. Look at that shooting in the first period. 72%.
Not Bobby Jones' shot. He shouldn't be taking that.
McAdoo puts it down. Going to the hole and turned it over. Watch this dribble.
That's also not Bob McAdoo's game. He shouldn't be handling the ball out there. Should have got it to Randy Smith in the middle. Smith could have dished the ball off to Collins, who was open for the fast break layup. A little bit of overpassing.
Collins.
Surprised that the East is this close to the West, as sloppy as they've been playing.
Yanked down by Jones. Here's Randy. Off to Barry. Back to Lionel Hollins.
2 seconds, please.
So is Maurice Lucas. Starts to check back in, and Jake O'Donnell called that 3-second violation. We'll have a timeout here in the Omni. 9 minutes and 31 seconds to go. A 10-point lead by the West. All right, 9 minutes and 31 seconds to go in the 28th annual NBA All-Star Game. Jack Ramsey laughing over there at something that referee Jake O'Donnell told him. 42-32. Ramsey's West, well, they can laugh. Is ahead right now by 10. David Thompson knocking the ball away from George Gervin and out of bounds. The East has gone to bench. Irving, Malone, Gervin, Smith, and Robinson on the floor. Here's a great shooter. Keith Gervin had it knocked away from him.
Get that scramble in there.
Loose ball, and finally they'll jump it up, says Capers.
These guys are really playing, aren't they? Here's Gervin going through. Barry gets a hand on the ball. Look at the ball going all over. The guys are looking. They can't find it. I tell you, Lanier finally gets a hand on it down there. And that's the end of that.
Here's Thompson now, along with Lucas, Lanier, Collins, and Barry. Irving switches over on Thompson. And Maurice puts it down. Two members of the champion Blazers on the floor right now, Hollins and Lucas. Next Sunday on CBS, they'll be in the doubleheader game as George Gervin, San Antonio Spurs, hits outside. What a remarkable season they're having. Leading the Central Division.
24.
Foul called against Gervin. Right now, let's go to Don Cricket.
This is Ted Turner, who owns the Atlanta Braves of baseball, and of course the Atlanta Hawks of basketball, skipper the America's Cup victory. You're going good this year.
It's been going real well. Really has. And it's a real pleasure of the NBA All-Star game here.
It's a big house. You're going to have some more of these, I guess, your team keeps going.
Right.
Yeah, good luck to you. Thanks.
Thanks a million.
There was an example of the ability of Irving and Thompson to get off the floor. They met at the summit here in the Omni.
Truly sensational play. What a jump ball that is.
Berry. Oh, look at that. No, says O'Donnell. They were up over the cylinder. How many arms we have up there stuffing that one back through? I think Lucas and Thompson went to the top. Watch it again.
Rick Barry takes the shot. This ball bounces right straight up. A perfect bounce. Lucas, Thompson, and Chuck Robinson all right on top of that.
And the East comes right back down with Julius Irving. So that one at the other end was no good because they were into the cylinder area, and the East comes right back, and now they've got a chance for a three-pointer, as Irving's field goal is good. The one you just watched by the West was not. 8:06 to go in the first half. 44-37. And the East, Keith Erickson, starting to get it together.
They are definitely getting together. That's Irving's first points of the night, and I think that he's ready to start putting the ball in the hole a little bit here.
Here's Lanier, Malone checking him. Loose ball out to Berry. 1 second, and Lucas gets it off. Taken down by Lanier, and he is fouled by Malone. And again, Bob Lanier was forced to leave last night's All-Star banquet because of the flu.
Watch Bob Lanier get Moses Malone up in the air again, and then he takes it to the hole. He tried to. Malone came down right on his back. And they didn't call a shooting foul.
Bill Walton checks in. Lanier will go out.
This is a great matchup down here. Lucas and Robinson, two of the best power forwards in the game.
Robinson lost control as he came down with that rebound. 7 minutes and 29 seconds. The attempts of a couple of independent groups of Americans to cross the Atlantic on a balloon will be coming up right after this NBA All-Star game, The Impossible Dream, here on CBS. Walton hits one for the right baseline. 7:20 to go. That's 6 points for Bill. Out of bounds, but the East will keep it. Paul Westfall. And Lionel Hollins goes out. Thompson will switch over on Randy Smith. Westfall going with Gervin right now. Hard to match up with Gervin because of his size. 6'7.5". That's big for a guard. Robinson on the drive gave it up, and here's Berry, and Randy Smith with that quickness got back. Off his foot and out of bounds. It'll go to the West.
Well, that was no contest on a race for that ball between Barry and Randy Smith. Randy Smith, incredible speed and quickness. The only way he's going to lose that ball the way he did, he bounced it off his foot.
Walton picking for Westfall, rolled off of it. Taken down by Gervin, and here's the Dr. Thompson with him battling for the ball. Julius couldn't save it. It'll go to the West. So we're going to have a timeout here with 6 minutes and 48 seconds. At halftime, Horse coming up on CBS, and George Gervin of the Eastern Conference All-Stars will be participating. Checks back in for the East. He has scored 6 points so far. That ties him with Doug Collins for high on the Eastern Conference All-Stars. Artis Gilmore of Chicago with 8, leading Paul Westfall of Phoenix by a point. Walton outside.
Not too bad for a guy 6'11". Nice touch on that jump shot.
Total of 8 now for Bill, too, Keith.
The old Boston Celtic weave.
Gervin. It'll stay in the possession of the East. Dave Cowens is back there with Irving. Moses Malone. He's the only Eastern star who has not scored so far. He's on the floor. Irving had it blocked by Westfall. Walton wanted him on the outlet. Berry tips it to Westfall.
That's a play, and that's what these All-Stars can do. Fantastic.
Malone trying to ram it in over Walton. Berry is down. He's all right. Back up. Westfall at the other end hits it again.
Beautiful outlet pass by David Thompson. Just gave the ball up at the right time for Paul Westfall to get the wide open jump shot.
Capers picked up the block.
Watch this tip by Rick Barry getting the ball and firing it ahead to Paul Westfall. he can really play this game, I'll tell you. He's as smart as anybody on the floor out there.
Help me.
52 to 37. Cowan outside. Walton and Malone.
They were holding hands down there underneath. I think they wanted to
tie
dance.
up. Maurice Lucas.
I'm really impressed with the way these guys are passing the ball out there. Lucas and Barry, they go head-to-head against each other.
There are the leaders right now in the 24 Hours of Daytona. We'll be going down for the conclusion of that race here this afternoon on CBS.
3 seconds. Take him off.
Malone moving up on Walton, and his first field goal from the Houston Rockets. Moses Malone. Do you realize he would just be a senior in college if he had gone that route? That he came out hardship, signed with Utah. Lucas. And Walton is right there to take it away from the doctor, isn't he? And Lucas rams it down.
That could have been a pass from Walton. He just put the ball up there, and watch Lucas take this ball off the rim. Malone goes up to try and block it. Here's Lucas with a slam dunk.
George Gervin. 6 points for Gervin of the Spurs. Berry. That's 8 now for Berry.
These guys are so great. That jump shot came from the top of the key, and it looked just like a layup would look. It was so easy for him.
And the East turns it over. 58 to 41. 4 minutes and 18 seconds to go. The Eastern Conference All-Stars will take a timeout here to see if they can regroup. Billy Cunningham with a little bit of a job to do with this assortment of stars. Keith, I think they're playing a little bit too much one-on-one. And back at the Omni in Atlanta, you see the leading scorers so far in this All-Star game. And the rebound man has been Maurice Lucas. And Keith Erickson, it's easy to see why Portland dominates the NBA, the way Walton and Lucas can come in here and get everyone playing as a team. Thompson coming to the hoop was fouled that time. George Gervin. Hey, there's the ageless hustler, huh? Bobby Riggs.
He's still hustling up in the stands, isn't he?
I guess you can take that a couple of ways, can't you? Here's Thompson at the line. I should have been a little bit careful with that choice of verbs that time. Did you ever play tennis against him?
I'm sorry to say that I did. And we'll leave it at that.
Wait a minute. He beat you? I hear wonders about your tennis game, Keith Erickson. 58-41. 4 minutes to go in the first half. Gervin of San Antonio to the right baseline. Tosses one up and in.
Very unorthodox shot. He threw that ball up from behind his right ear and the backboard. Look at that play between Lucas and Walton. And Thompson going way up for that rebound.
Berry is back awaiting the doctor, and the foul is called.
That was a gorgeous play by Irving. We had a perfect view of that. John Havlicek's wife.
That's right. Beth Havlicek watching, and one of his daughters. There he is. Boy, what a marvelous career he has had, and what a model he is for everyone who wants to be a professional athlete. Not only a professional athlete, come to think about it, he's just a tremendous human being. I don't think I've been around any athlete that I've ever admired any more than John Havlicek. 58-43 and 3:25 to go here in the first half. David Thompson.
What a great block by Irving, coming from the weak side to help Doug Collins out. Collins was beaten completely on the play.
McAdoo up over Walton. New York Knicks hits the field goal, make it 58-45. And on the turnover, the East will come right back down.
I think that's what Billy Cunningham is going to want to do. He had Bill Walton guarding Bob McAdoo that time, and McAdoo just went way outside, and Walton was stuck inside. McAdoo had the wide-open shot, and that's his shot.
Larry Keenan of San Antonio has just checked back in. He has possession right now. Havlicek using McAdoo as a screen. Lucas outlet to Thompson. East back on defense, and here's Walton to the hole on Collins. Chance for the three-pointer.
That is really incredible. Bill Walton started telling David Thompson that he was filling the lane when he was still in the backcourt. Here's Thompson. Now he hears Walton talking to him. Looks back, gives him the pass. Walton just hustled his fanny off to fill that fast break lane. That's fantastic.
Keith, I think the most interesting thing about Bill Walton is the amount of time he spends talking on the floor. Now, we've seen a lot of big men in this game. So Walton is a cheerleader. He's a director of the offense out there. He makes everyone work along with him. I've really been amazed at the way he has taken hold of that franchise out there in Portland.
Just fantastic. He is a team player in every sense of the word.
And there's the two gentlemen who call all the shots at CBS Sports. Our president, Bob Wessler, on the left-hand side of the screen, talking to his senior vice president, Barry Frank. They were at the NBA banquet last night. George seeing all the players introduced. Boy, the kids love to get the autographs, don't they, Keith Erickson?
Oh, they swarmed the table like a bunch of bees, didn't they, going after honey?
What do you think the average salary is here today? About $250,000 to $300,000 a year?
Oh, probably a little more than that. It wouldn't be that low.
Do you think you and I could get a loan from one of these guys?
The bank of Bill Walton?
Westball came around Walton that time and threw it in. Remarkable 50% shooter from the floor in his NBA career. Formerly of the Boston Celtics. Great job with the Phoenix Suns. Here's McAdoo, and Barry was there on defense. Collins left alone outside. And the East had to stay at the perimeter until Hayes finally muscles his way and won't go down. And here's McAdoo.
What a play. They must have passed that ball about 10 times. Must have had 3 or 4 offensive rebounds.
Barry glides in. Here's Hondo, and Walton is there. Pass quickly to Keenan. But Collins has got it back. The East getting some offensive rebounds. Lucas out to Westball. Barry's on his right. Collins. Blocking foul is the call, as Collins was not set, and that'll pick the crowd up here. 13 points for Paul Westball, the governor of Georgia.
Everybody's a basketball fan down here in Atlanta, huh? Miss Lillian?
We've got a timeout, too, with 1:39 to go in the first half. 63 to 49.
Good second effort. Good second effort.
There's what we got coming up at halftime. Horse, George Gervin, Jimmy the Greek's Grapevine, and a report from the 24 Hours of Daytona.
Okay, if Barry's on you, let's just go. The first time we get the ball down, go to the high post and hit him. Well, just work down low on him. Slice across the middle and get it down in low. Let's do that first time we get the ball. Let's just contain it. Keep it on the offensive boards. Let's keep going. You got to just keep pounding it until it starts dropping. Way to go. Westball's just releasing, John. Every time.
Go.
All right.
Go, West. Ball.
Jack Ramsey looking over. Voice you heard, of course, Billy Cunningham talking to those Eastern Conference All-Stars about pounding away on those rebounds.
But
Stay
call
with
it.
it.
Now call it so everybody knows.
You made a good point there also about Paul Westball releasing. Paul has been playing defense out high and making a gamble for the ball. If he misses it, he just keeps right on going to the other end. And, you know, if the West, the big guys, Lucas or Walton, get that rebound, they're going to be looking for Paul breaking.
Earl Westfall, leading scorer so far. Last year in Milwaukee, Keith Erickson, a lot of folks thought that he should have been the most valuable player. He helped preserve that exciting victory by the West, but the doctor, Julius Irving, turned in a fantastic performance. 30 points that afternoon.
Well, Paul had a great game, but you certainly can't argue with the game that Dr. J had. Let's keep an eye on Elvin Hayes this time. They're going to try and run a play. They're going to try and post Elvin up down low down here. It looks like they're posting McAdoo.
Collins trying to come in, and the foul was called. First foul against Westfall.
Knock him in, Doug.
You made a great point. Brent, about Bill Walton talking out there. He's been talking to everybody. He's still talking. He just called Paul Westfall aside and told him something that they're going to do down low, and I'm sure he'll be talking to the official here.
Well, you know, Keith, it's so obvious. Communication. We have to do it in life. If you don't communicate, you can't expect the job to be done. And why not out on the basketball court?
Absolutely.
You talk to people.
Every coach tells his players to talk, and there aren't very many that do it. And that's a tribute to Bill Walton and his college coach, John Wooden.
Back to Walton from his teammate, Lucas. Just try to get a ticket to a game out in Portland. The way that team has turned on the fans, and here's isolation of Walton at that line. You see how he was blocking out Elvin Hayes, wasn't going to give him an easy one. Westfall on the miss, and now Havlicek off, and Westfall got back for the interception. Good anticipation. Paul off the pass from Lucas.
That's a gorgeous play. Bill Walton caught an elbow or a hand in the eye down there at the other end of the floor.
Havlicek from the right baseline. Havlicek with 8 points. He's got to be a sentimental favorite for the most valuable as Westfall muscles in that time. An offensive foul is called against Paul.
Offensive foul on Westfall, his second, 2 teams.
There is Julius's lovely wife, Turquoise Irving. A lot of the wives, Keith Erickson, come to the All-Star game and the banquet.
That's one of the highlights of the year for the wives. Come down here at these banquets and take a tour of the city.
Field goal by Collins. 66-55. Last 30 seconds now of the first half. Collins in the middle. Intercepted Walton. Outlet Lucas. It's 2-on-1. Hayes is back on Westfall. Havlicek back now. And the East survived that assault. Now it's a 2-on-1, 3-on-1, and Walton was able to knock it out of bounds. The only man they had to beat. And Big Bill got a hand on it. And there's Kathy Collins watching the action. Her husband, number 20, out on the floor.
Who do you run the last play for in one of these games, huh? 10 All-Stars out on the floor.
Whoever's dribbling.
Here's Bill Walton taking the ball to the hole. Doug Collins having positions, bracing himself for that contact that he knew was coming. Bill not too, well, you can't say he's not too happy. He's smiling at the referee. Just maybe disagreed a little bit.
Randy Smith trying to do it again. He does. Randy Smith. He's 2 for 2 at the buzzer.
They put Randy Smith in because he is so quick. Look at the quickness, acceleration here. There's a pick, shooting the ball over Bill Walton with no seconds on the clock, no time, right through.
Now that's 3 fouls on Westfall. He's one of the leaders in that voting right now for the most valuable player. We've got a different system here. Honeywell has some computers installed, and we'll be measuring those sports writers' votes in the seconds that elapse just after the game. I know sometimes in the past the writers have been asked to vote too early, and we really haven't caught the most valuable player. But this year there'll be none of that, thanks to the age of the computer. So it's 66-59 on the Smith free throws, 11:41, and here's Walton waiting again for that cutter. Westfall will take it and use him as a screen. Irving skies for the board. Off now to Smith. Quick pass to Truck. Robinson outside. New Orleans Jazz with a great pickup in Truck Robinson.
That was a beautiful shot by Leonard Robinson there. He had in his mind as he was coming down the floor, he knew he was open, and he was just waiting to get the ball to shoot that jump shot.
Malone picks the West clean, and here comes the East now as they start to close in and put it together. Truck again outside. Walton off. Gives the East but 1 shot. Westfall now looks for his offense. It's David Thompson, but he was traveling as he couldn't get control of the ball.
That was a great play by Paul Westfall. He saw that he was going to get the ball and fill the middle lane. He signaled to David Thompson to fill the outside lane to go so that they would have a perfect fast break coming down.
Irving waits for the open man. Goes now to Smith. He looks for Doug Collins on the cut. Back outside. Here's Irving to Philadelphia, moving left side. Collins gives it back to his teammate, and the doctor hits it. We've got a ball game brewing in Atlanta. 66-63. The East starting to come back and play a little team basketball.
They sure are. That's what they need to do out here. And Randy Smith passed up a couple of shots there. I guess he's going to wait until the last 24-second clock is running down before he shoots.
Look at Walton position his offense. Good defense. Smith right there on Westfall. Westfall with that high arch, and the Phoenix Sun guard has got it away. What a shooter he is, Keith.
Oh, just sensational. He's got tremendous body control. He turned around in the lane that time. With his back to the basket, he jumped into the air. You know, most players wouldn't know where they were.
Robinson got fancy. Irving runs it down. Cross court to Smith. The Buffalo guard hits one outside. 10 minutes to go in the third. Smith with 11 points off the East bench for Billy Cunningham. It's a 3-point lead by the West. Lucas has handled the ball much here in the third quarter. Back now to Thompson. Comes up jumping on Doug Collins. How do you stay with him when he can get off the floor like that?
That's an impossible play to stop. Not only can he get off the floor, but he can drive by you either side. Doug Collins was all by himself over there. A terrible time guarding that guy right there.
Jim Capers, the trail official. Jake O'Donnell underneath. The owners in the league talking a lot about 3 officials next year. No decision made. Malone, and Walton was there with him and fouled him. Boy, Walton can go right straight up in the air. He doesn't think he fouled him. I wasn't so sure on it either. But our votes don't count. O'Donnell's does. We got a timeout in the Omni. Malone has just missed one free. Puts this one down away. Watching the action, Governor George Busby and his lovely wife here in Atlanta, Georgia. The West with possession and a 4-point lead right now. Berry, underhand scoop shot, and Walton was there for the tap in. You know, we talk about Westfall's points. He's already dished out 4 assists, which leads the West also as the East comes back down. And here's Dougie Collins of Philadelphia. Up high, Walton's got an open man. Didn't get it to Westfall, instead it goes to Lucas. Here's Westfall, back now to Berry. Malone. Bill Walton was resting just a bit back there at the defensive end, so they didn't have their center underneath. Got only one shot. Collins down. Underneath, gliding move, and a foul as Malone came up. Berry was there.
What a sensational pass by Doug Collins. Here's Dr. J cutting underneath. Look at Collins with a wraparound pass around Bill Walton. Beautiful pass.
That's 4 fouls on Rick Berry, too, Keith.
Yep.
So Berry and Collins both have 4 fouls. Very early in the third quarter.
There's the young star of the Houston Rockets. Hey, we've got to wish Rudy Tomjanovich all the best, and I'm sure that goes from all the players out here. Long-time All-Star, out with that injury. Here's Berry, put it down with a nice fake and dished it off to Lucas. And Randy Smith gliding over, touched it last out of bounds, and he thought Lucas had fouled him on that. I thought Lucas had his position. Let's take a look here.
All right, let's watch Lucas shoot the ball from the outside. And Julius Irving going out. Here's Randy Smith going up. Looked like his momentum carried him into Maurice Lucas on that play.
8:33 in the third. Robinson and Lucas.
Paul Westfall. He's telling the official that's a terrible call. He just ran Doug Collins right over. It was terrible.
Cunningham yelling for Moses to get out high, and there he is. That forces Walton to come out with him, of course. Opens it up underneath a little bit.
Oh, beautiful block by Bill Walton inside.
And as a result, David Thompson of the West with control. Short, Malone off now to Irving. Walton waits for the knock there.
Another beautiful block by
We
Walton.
see that in the championship series. Smith up outside. Thompson runs it down, saves it. And here's Walton. We've got 7:50 to go. 72 now, 67. West with the ball in the lead, and Berry tosses it up and in. Pretty play by the forward of the Golden State Warriors.
That's a sensational shot by Rick Berry. He knew if he took 1 split second longer to shoot that ball, it was going to get rejected. He just put it way up high on the top of the board. A quick shot.
Collins at the point, goes to the right with Westfall on him. Irving outside, inside of 5 on the shot clock as the doctor. Bit of a hesitation jump shot, and Berry off to Westfall. Smith is back, and Thompson the trailer. Foul by Randy Smith underneath.
That whole play was made possible by Bill Walton at the other end. The ball was shot short. Walton just tapped it out. Here's Paul Westfall. Watch, Berry goes by Irving, and see, he saw Malone coming over to him and just barely got the ball up, underhand up high on the board.
You know, Berry is forced to compensate because he's not one of the great jumpers in the NBA. So he's learned how to keep that body under control and use it to his advantage as he kind of slid in with a left shoulder hesitation shot.
He's got tremendous body control, and he's shot some of the most incredible shots I've ever seen. I saw him make an underhand shot from way out in the corner one night when a guy took away his jump shot. He's really phenomenal.
Moses out high, waits for Smith, the cutter. Here's Dougie Collins gliding in, powers it off to Robinson, and the East is getting to the basket for some layups.
You know, these guys are so great. They make this game look so easy out there. You fail to realize that they're playing such great defense also.
Berry picks off Smith, leaving Westfall open. Didn't want the shot, however. Now Westfall goes over and uses Walton, and he was fouled as Randy Smith hit him. Oh, Westfall scored 20 points already. We've got a timeout here in Atlanta. 6:41 to go in the third quarter. 78-69, the West ahead.
He really hasn't had a chance to show what he can do one-on-one or even get any wide-open jump shots. He's only 2 for 13 so far and has been forced to force a few shots up there.
Westfall on the missed free throw. Now it's Randy Smith of Buffalo with control for the East. Cuts over behind Malone and dead on with that shot. 6:30 to go. It's a 7-point West lead and 13 points for Smith. I told you the guards were going to take charge of that MVP award, Keith Erickson. Westfall and Smith right now. Here's David Thompson of Denver is up and in.
You don't think it means anything that Westfall and Smith are guarding each other, do you?
The shootout at the Omni. 12 points for Thompson. Don't eliminate him when you consider MVPs. And, of course, you always consider the big redhead Bill Walton. Doug Collins gliding in, throwing it up and in.
That's a gorgeous shot. I'll tell you, people don't realize how difficult that shot is to control, to even get the ball near the hoop up there. That ball didn't touch anything but the bottom of the net when he shot.
Greatest players in basketball. Walton to Walter Davis of Phoenix, and Lucas with authority.
Goodness, what a beautiful rebound that was.
That's why he's the #1 power forward in basketball.
Yes, he is. Now watch Maurice Lucas come from out of nowhere. Bill Walton went up and saw him there and just let Maurice Lucas take it and power that ball through.
Dave Collins will come back in. It's a 9-point lead. 5:38 to go in the third. Walton gives Malone a lot of room. Here's McAdoo of the New York Knicks. Got it. That's 8 for McAdoo. Quickly to Lucas. Lost control, but it was hit last by the East, so the West retains possession as Lionel Hollins and Dave Cowens of the Boston Celtics. Cowens says the Celtics starting to play together much better. The last week says we look like a basketball team again.
I think they've won 3 games in a row now. With Sidney Wicks playing good, strong basketball, they've still got a chance at these playoffs.
Davis cutting away from Thompson. That's the problems you encounter in an all-star game. You're not familiar with your teammates and what they might do from a certain spot.
That's exactly right.
7-point West lead and 5 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the third quarter. Everybody congregated together. McAdoo forcing one and Walton off to Lionel Hollins.
Look at that rebound and the outlet pass.
Lanes are filled. Hollins takes it to the hole. Thompson trying to control Randy Smith back down quickly for the East. 3-on-1, and it's McAdoo, and Walton and McAdoo got underneath there. Walton had it sealed up, and McAdoo still scored it. Quickly comes Maurice Lucas back to the West. The foul is called. I cannot believe that McAdoo got underneath the redhead.
Look at
Watch this play.
McAdoo saw that the block. He was surely going to get it blocked on that side. Completely underneath the basket with his body out of bounds, reach back and set the ball in. How does the guys put that ball up so softly, going full speed, with Bill Walton completely over the top of the basket?
It's 5. Davis goes baseline, and Walton follows it up. And right away, Walton says just what you did, Keith Erickson. Nice pass to that rookie from North Carolina. He has excited the Phoenix Suns, and just being here at the All-Star game as the only rookie, he's got to be the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year now. And Larry Keenan of the San Antonio Spurs got past Davis that time and hit it.
McAdoo and Keenan the last 2 times down the floor, they've just said, Bill who with the red hair?
Collins gliding in, but he was out of bounds on that far side. Hey, let's go back to Don Criqui now.
All right, Brent, here's a very well-known Georgian. The president's brother, Billy Carter,
Billy, they say that you're getting so busy now that Jimmy has to come in and pinch hit for you sometimes.
Oh, every once in a while, I guess.
How is everything going? The peanut's moving good?
Peanut's moving good. Everything's wet and cold at home, just like up north.
Well, it's good to see you here and your mother.
We're both glad to be here very much.
Billy Carter.
I'm surprised he didn't offer you a beer, Don Quickie. All right, 3:56 to go in the third. It's 86-79 now. 7-point West lead, and here's Keenan Smith, McAdoo, Collins, and Havlicek on the floor for the Eastern Conference All-Stars. Keenan got beyond Davis that time and hit that shot. He's another one of those leapers. You don't hear too much about him, but you're going to hear about San Antonio, the playoffs this year. Doug Moe has got that team working together. Davis off to Hollins. They move it quickly to Thompson. Ball movement by the West. They got the open man.
Oh, they're really passing that ball. It's just beautiful to see that. These guys that haven't played together before to come out and work together like that.
There's Randy Smith.
Quickness of Randy Smith.
And McAdoo. So Can-Do has scored 12. David Thompson with 16. Paul Westfall with 20.
David Thompson hit his third basket in a row now. He's getting hot.
Total of 18 points for David Skywalker.
Well, it's warming up out there a little bit now. These guys are really looking to put that ball every time.
There he is. Thompson does it.
Yeah.
Put that one in the bank. David Skywalker just took it home from a Rocky Mountain high. Whoa, me. Go to it, David. Collins picking, crowd buzzing. Havlicek outside. We got him alive in Atlanta with that play. 2:35 left in the third.
Well, they're really moving it now. They're not waiting for anything out here.
Here's Davis to Hollins. Back to Davis. McAdoo seals him off. They come back to Davis and Collins with control. Walton with a hand on it. Smith came up in Walton's face. Loose foul call.
I'd say you don't see too often where guys are spread out all over the floor like they are. That last play with Walton going for the ball here. 3 or 4 guys at one end of the floor, the other 6 at the other end. They're all over the place.
Has published the largest and most comprehensive All-Star Game souvenir magazine program in its history. 84 pages of interesting articles and pictures, crammed full of information on the greatest players in the world of basketball. Now, it's a souvenir that I know a lot of you fans are going to want to keep, so here's how you can order it. Send a check or money order for $3 to All-Star Program, care of the Omni, 100 Techwood Drive, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30303. And that is $3, a check or a mail order for that souvenir program. We've got 2 minutes to go in the third. Hollins coming in. Havlicek is there. Foul called by Capers. And John Havlicek, even at the age of 37, can show his anger over a call along that baseline.
He said, you know, I played all this time and I can't remember any fouls I've made.
Means just as much to Hondo today as it did when he broke in from Ohio State. Wasn't that a great college team? Lucas, Havlicek, Siegfried, Knoll, Knight. They tell me Knight was the quiet man there. Here's Collins. 2 minutes to go. It's 93-85. Here's Hondo. Brian Winters with him. Walter Davis trying to seal off McAdoo. Trying to front him. McAdoo was behind him on a size mismatch. He just couldn't hold him down.
Walter Davis held him out as long as he could, but Bob McAdoo was just too big for him inside.
Davis drives off to Artis Gilmore. Chicago and Collins was there. Here's Winters. Gilmore almost traveled, but didn't. Now it's Havlicek.
That was great defensive play by Dave Collins down there. Twice in a row, Gilmore tried to take it right to the hole. Beautiful block by Bobby Jones.
Collins follows up on McAdoo's shot. It's a 4-point game. It was 9 at the half. The West has been in control. Jones trying McAdoo with that long reach. Just got up over the top of Bobby Jones of Denver.
That was a fine play by McAdoo there. He saved the basket, just getting his fingertips on that ball.
Keith, we talk about long reaches. George Gervin, 38-inch sleeve.
That's
He's
fantastic.
back out there right now.
Yeah.
They're looking looking now at the team fouls, they've got 5 for the East and 3 for the West.
They should have
6 to go. Jack Ramsey claiming to earn the penalty.
Evidently, they had a penalty free throw that they overlooked earlier in the game, so they're giving it to Lionel Hollins now.
And Hollins puts it down, so not only has Jack Ramsey put together a good team out there in Portland, he's also read that rule book.
It was a penalty shot. Announce it.
That was a penalty shot that should have made
Jake O'Donnell yelling to the public address announcer, "Announce it, please."
Which is exactly what they did, because otherwise the crowd might have thought we had a technical going on out here. McAdoo and Davis tangled up. Loose ball foul against Davis. 1:03 to go in the third. 94-89. West leading the East. There's that long arm of George Gervin. He just tossed the ball in to John Havlicek. You can watch him work. Lionel Hollins assigned to him. Jones got a hand on it. Havlicek battling for it. It goes out of bounds. And the East will keep it.
Here's Bobby Jones helping out. Watch this play. Bobby Jones with his long arms coming in there and saving the pass.
There's Gervin. Nice man from San Antonio. You see those two defenders come off the floor? That left Keenan open. Tapped up by McAdoo and Cowens again.
I'd say there's some contact going on in there that time. Cowens and Gilmore going at it pretty heavy.
It's a 3-point basketball game. Davis of Phoenix makes it 5. We're down to the last 35 seconds of the third quarter.
Walter Davis showing everybody that he belongs out here in this game.
Showing some confidence.
Now here he's got a tough spot right here. Guarding Bob McAdoo one-on-one.
Gervin runs it down. Davis taps it now. It'll be the West. It's Hollins and Jones. Goes to Jones. Pretty pass, Lionel Hollins.
Beautiful play by the two of them. Bobby Jones knew what Lionel Hollins was going to do with that ball.
Here's Gervin. Just trying to lay it up, and he was fouled as he committed himself to the basket. Bobby Jones in underneath. 7 seconds to go in the third. 98-91. 7-point difference. You know, we don't have Thompson and Westfall on the floor right now. They would have to be the leading candidates for the most valuable player. Thompson 9 of 12. Westfall 9 of 13.
Just about in here. Good shot, guys. All right.
And for George Gervin, that is point number 9.
7 seconds left to go in the
Where's Randy Smith?
Here.
Down to 7 seconds. Somebody get Smith off that bench over there.
Here's the West version of Randy Smith.
It'll be Davis has got that. That's unbelievable. Every time we get it down to the last few seconds, we've got somebody who can put it in.
Look at the clock down below with 2 seconds and 1. And when the ball's at its height, there's no time left.
Back at the Omni for the last quarter of the All-Star game. 100-92. The Western Conference All-Stars lead the East. The East in the white with the ball. Hondo, John Havlicek, his last All-Star game. And Jones. McAdoo. Fouled him. On the side will come John Havlicek. Brian Winters of Milwaukee. Checking Hondo. Artis Gilmore and Dave Cowens are the two centers right now. Gervin getting inside of Lionel Hollins. Larry Keenan. Loose ball underneath. Cowens battling and the whistle blows as Artis Gilmore jumped out on Cowens. Gilmore fouled him. We've got leading scorers coming into the last quarter. Thompson and Westfall with 20 apiece. They pace the West. And Collins and McAdoo with 14 apiece. They pace the East. Keenan drives it home.
Nice move by Larry Keenan, taking it right to the hole.
Okay. That's it, Larry. Good. That's it. Good hustle.
Bobby Jones with McAdoo checking him. Davis up over the top of Keenan.
Davis, he even hurried that shot a little bit. He was worried that Keenan was going to block it.
That rookie from Phoenix has hit double figures. 10 points here. Keenan glides. Pretty play. Dr. K.
That's a sensational move. He's got such huge hands. He just took that ball to the hole, held it in his one hand, and laid it in.
as you watch Larry Keenan in slow motion on that move Keith Erickson told you about, keep in mind that Keenan and the Dr. J. Julius once were teammates on the New York Nets as Brian Winters hits for the West, and that's when the Nets won an ABA championship. 104-96. 8-point lead right now. Gilmore out all over Cowens. Turn it over, and the West will come down, and Cowens was looking for the foul as Rick Berry checks in. Here's Rick. Keenan will take him. Gilmore gives him the pick, and then rolled off of it. Oh, over the top of Artis Gilmore. McAdoo was in behind him that time.
Bob McAdoo was making sure that Artis Gilmore wasn't going to get the wide open shot. Here he gets McAdoo up in the air. And watch McAdoo come down with his hands on Gilmore's head. Taking a 20-second injury timeout down here. He came down pretty hard on him right there. I think he's all right, though.
Trainer Ron Culp of the West. He's also the Portland trainer during the regular season, tending to the Chicago center.
It's just one of those plays where a player wants to make sure that the guy doesn't go up and get the shot.
Next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, the Challenge of the Sexes will feature drag racing, gymnastics, freestyle skiing.
We got 2.
That's 1 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS as Gilmore comes to the free throw line. 10 minutes and 19 seconds to go here in this 28th annual All-Star Game. We'll award the most valuable player trophy at the end of the game. The Commissioner, Larry O'Brien, also will give a new card to that MVP. 106-96. It's back to 10 and 10 minutes to go. Elvin Hayes on the turnaround misfire, and Winters with control for the West. Berry gave it up to Winters.
He gave it to the right guy. Brian Winters can knock that ball down when he's open like that. He's a great outside shooter.
Everyone has scored in this game. Keenan using the glass. He's playing with some confidence, isn't he? He's into double figures with 14. Brian Winters came up underneath. Didn't have the shot. Here's Gervin. Jones with control. Wanted Berry on the turnover. Here's Keenan up on Gilmore. And Larry Keenan shows us something. 16 now.
But these guys, this East team is really getting hot now. They're starting to put the ball in the hole.
Out of bounds.
And on the other hand, turnover. I'm sorry, on the other hand, the West is getting a little bit out of control. You know, they're getting a little ragged, playing the way the East did at the beginning of the game.
Doug Collins and Randy Smith in the East backcourt. They trail it by 4 field goals with 9:10 to go. Here's Smith. Lyle Hollins and hit that shot outside. He scored 15 points.
You know, you get kind of redundant saying that guy can really hit that shot from the outside. They're all such great shooters.
Hollins misfires, but Winters controls for the Western. Here's Rick. Up over the top. He thought he had that one. That was dead on and just took a high bounce and ricochet.
Ricochet by Rick.
There's Jack Ramsey. This is the first time that he has coached an NBA All-Star team. 20 years as a head coach, that man has had only 2 losing seasons. Offensive foul is called. So for Doug Collins, that is foul number 2.
53, Rick, from you. 53 from you.
Lionel Hollins controls the basketball. Western All-Stars, and here's Berry.
53 they called, and that's Gilmore's number. So they were trying to go down low, post him up on Cowens.
The East now can cut it to 4 points with 8 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Elvin gave it back to Cowens. Foul is called. So for Elvin Hayes, that's his 3rd foul.
Watch Artis Gilmore on this play. Look at him cut over to the baseline. Made a really good defensive play. Elvin Hayes charged right into it.
Berry. Now it's Cowens out quickly to Randy Smith. Hollins is there. Smith with that graceful and that speed that he possesses just got right around. Hollins back quickly for the West, and here's Rick. Winters is open. Big basket by the West. 110-104. Bill Walton yelling encouragement. His Western teammates. Hayes had the tap in, and it just wouldn't stay down for the big guy from Washington. And he came up into Bobby Jones that time.
Here's Larry Keenan turning around, shooting the ball over Bobby Jones. Watch Elvin Hayes going up all by himself. Ball just wouldn't stay in, and then he comes back and fouls Bobby Jones on the rebound.
6 points, and as Barry went up, he made it 8, drew the foul, and he'll come to the line. Barry thanking Jones for that pass.
Two of the best passing forwards in the game, Bobby Jones and Rick Barry. They had that play all set up. Rick Barry set his man up and went backdoor on the play. So we'll see here. Nobody guarding Barry, and Randy Smith came over to help out. Barry completely lost his man.
That's 5 fouls on Smith.
Billy Cunningham certainly doesn't want Randy Smith fouling out of this game as hot as he's been.
So the West runs off 5 straight points. Smith runs down his own miss. Can't give him 2 in a row the way he's been shooting.
Oh, he's sensational at that. With his quickness, he just goes after. He shoots the ball and goes right after it again.
Keenan is there. Gilmore on the pick, and Gilmore just rolls right off of it. And Elvin Hayes is having some problems out there right now. Lost control of the basketball. Goes out of bounds with 6:53 to go. And the West leads it 113-106.
You mentioned before how much he talks on the floor. He even talks while he's on the bench over there. During the timeout, he was helping the coaches out, telling Rick Barry what's going on out there, what they should be doing.
Look, when you try to tell Rick Barry what's going on, you may be arguing for talking time.
Well, Rick probably wasn't listening to it.
They're the leading scorers right now. 6 minutes and 53 seconds. The shootout for the Chevrolet is about to begin. Winters misfires. The doctor is off now to Randy Smith. Irving breaks down ahead of him, and here's Smith. He's the high man, and he's got the hot hand, the Buffalo Graveyard.
Randy Smith just has to be very careful at this point with his 5 fouls. He's in a precarious situation here.
David Skywalker is back. Knocked away by Irving. Run down by Collins. Open man is Smith. Here he is. Touchdown East. It's a 3-point game. There'll be a timeout right away. Crowd has come alive. The Atlanta Hawks, of course, are in the Eastern Conference. They compete in the Central Division. They're chasing those San Antonio Spurs, and the folks love the East.
All right, let's keep an eye on Paul Westphal now. Randy, the West set up a play at the timeout to try and have Westphal go one-on-one against Randy Smith, have him pick up his 6th foul.
But instead, it was Irving hooking Barry. Billy Cunningham's assistants didn't like that call. Jack McMahon and Chuck Daly. Daly, formerly out of Pennsylvania, has joined that 76ers staff. Jack McMahon, of course, was an assistant under Gene Shue. The 3-man brain trust for the Eastern Conference All-Stars. Walton and Lucas of Portland are back. 5:57 to go. Cowan's out on Walton. Barry. There's Randy Smith. He's every place. Barry with him. It can be a 1-point game if Smith can put it down. He does. He is red hot. That's 25 points for Randy Smith right now. We got a 1-point game in the Omni. West with the ball in the lead. Truck Robinson checking Maurice Lucas. Strength on strength. Here's Westphal. Turns around on Smith. There was the play Keith told you about, and Robinson yanks it down.
Fantastic rebound by Robinson. There's some great court play going on right now. This is really turning into a heck of a ball game. Walton and Collins, Robinson against Maurice Lucas, Irving against Barry.
Irving's got it. They lead. First time they've led since early in the first quarter at 4-2. At 5:10, the doctor drew the foul.
This is fantastic. Watch Rick Barry's reaction on this when the foul's called. He got him on the arm a little bit. You know how Rick complains on a call. He looks at the official here. He turned around and he just gave him a little bit of a stare. He knew he fouled him on that play.
5 fouls on Barry, 5 on Smith, and it is Randy Smith of the Buffalo Braves who has brought the Eastern Conference All-Stars back. Irving now puts them up by a field goal. So here they come. The West can tie it. Westfall, Thompson, Lucas, Walton, and Berry on the floor. Walton looks for the cutter.
The West strength is playing as a team, so now's the time. Let's see how they do it.
Loose ball. Here comes the East again. Randy Smith pumps it with that speed. Goes to the doctor. Doctor went in too far. Smith is there on the turnaround. 27 points for Smith. And look at that East bench. Cunningham is up. You'd think it's a playoff game right now in the Omni. Here's Lucas coming in on truck. Off of Robinson and out of bounds.
Way to go, Doc. You're right.
11 of 14. That's what Randy Smith has shot from the floor. 4:36. Here's Walton. Collins knocked it away, and it's off of Bill's leg. Went out of bounds. It'll go to the East. They're up by 4 points. Their biggest lead was 2 at 4-2, way back in the first quarter. I'll tell you what, Randy Smith, he's got the front door open on that car right now. Doctor, and Walton got a hand on it.
Great heads-up play by Bill Walton. I'll tell you, you don't see many guys in the league that can help out on that play, but Bill Walton did.
Here's Bill trailing. Lots of time. 4-12. Berry off. They're getting only one shot. Irving coming up around Walton. Off to the side. It's Doug Collins. No good, and the whistle blows. Offense is the call against Collins as he came in. We've got bodies down all over the place. Thompson, Walton are both down. Collins was down.
Irving in the air, passing the ball over to Doug Collins. Taking the ball to the hole. David Thompson had perfect position on that play. Doug forced the shot a little bit. Should have looking for the pass in that position.
Smith has hit 10 of the last 13 points. Now let's watch the West go to work. Here's Walton looking for a cutter. Cowens goes with him. Walton will go to that jump shot up over Dave. Cowens was there, and with Thompson, we've got a loose ball foul called.
Watch this ball going up. Watch Cowens come in from the side, and David Thompson there. David Thompson was way up in the air, but Dave Cowens was too, and all he could do was just hold on to Cowens' arm on the play.
4 fouls on Thompson. Cowens with that shot outside.
Ramsey up there admonishing the and start playing like they were earlier in the game. For some reason, they've really come apart with the way the East team has gotten so hot here, and now the West is forcing all of their shots, not playing together.
Pass to Irving from Smith, and they were underneath the foul. Lucas was up on Irving, but did you see that pass by Smith?
Pick up on Randy Smith here. Passing the ball down to Julius Irving. And watch this block by Lucas and Walton both. That's what you call a double umbrella on that play.
Irving at the line as a result of that foul. He has scored 8 points. Did not shoot well from the field in the first half. But down the stretch, Billy Cunningham wants the doctor on the floor. The West in the penalty. The East just there with 14 fouls. There he is, out of Buffalo. Once played for Jack Ramsey, who's the coach of the West today, the head man out at Portland. 3:05, 121 to 115. The East is up by 6 points. West with control. Thompson, not there, and it was Irving's turn to get up.
Well, that's why you want the doctor in the game at the end of the game. I'll tell you, if he's not, doesn't matter how he's shooting. I'd say he can do everything out here on the floor.
That's the time remaining. Bottom center of your screen. Berry was up on Irving. Foul called again. So I'll tell you, Julius parading to the foul line as Rick Berry has fouled out. Rick Berry leaves with a total of 15 points.
That's another impossible situation to try and guard Julius Irving one-on-one. They cleared the floor for him. They knew that Rick Berry had 5 fouls on him also, the same as the West was trying to do with Randy Smith earlier in the game. And it worked. Julius Irving fouled him out.
Next, the impossible dream, ballooning over the Atlantic. The story of a couple of American teams, a marvelous show right after this All-Star game, which in itself has turned out to be a marvelous show. Irving parading to that free throw line, making it count here against the West. It's 123 to 115. 2 minutes and 39 seconds. West down by 4 field goals. Walton looks, waits, Goes up with a jump shot. And again it is Julius Erving giving the West but one shot. Cross court to the truck. Irving goes back to Robinson in the corner. Walton flying out at him. Cowan's got a hand on it. Dave Cowan's tapping it back in. The East has got it together. There's going to be a timeout in Atlanta.
Watch this play down below with Dave Cowens and Maurice Lucas going for the ball. Cowens just got up above him, tapped the ball in. I'll tell you, that is some matchup down there. Cowens and Lucas going at it one-on-one. Turned into a heck of a game here in the fourth quarter.
Ramsey. Jack Ramsey was just telling his team to get more aggressive on defense, that they're letting the East run whatever they want to run when they come down the floor. So to move out and start playing some tougher D against their men. Now they got a lot of time. It's a 10-point East lead, 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go. Hey, Randy Smith, I can't get over the way this Buffalo Brave guard has played. He must be having car trouble back home. He wants to drive it. You know, instead of a car, they should give him a snow plow.
His other car's probably snowbound right now. He needs something to get around in. This is a very crucial play for the West right here. They've got to run a play and get it.
And
get
three
it
Trailblazers, Keith, are on the floor. That was one of them. Hollins coming up and drawing the foul. Cowens
1-18.
fouled him as he came to the glass, and of course that computer awaits the votes. The Honeywell computer, they will collect the ballots from the sports writers as soon as this is over, and then right there on the face of the screen it will flash the winner of the MVP. You know who the leader is, Randy Smith, if this holds up.
You know, the West team really went cold, Brent. At 7:21 left to go in the fourth quarter, they had 113 points. And right now, with 2 minutes left, they've only got 117.
You know, Thompson and Westfall left when they were hot, and they haven't been able to get back into the flow of things. They haven't scored now since they left in that third quarter, and both have 20 points. Hollins is out on Smith, trying to force him. They roll it out. So there was the pressure defense, and Smith still made it pay off. This time with a pass. It's back to 10 on 146. Now it's trouble for the West. Lucas controls. Left open, high percentage shooter, and he's coming off a red-hot week. We'll be out in Portland next week. The doubleheader game, Denver and Portland. Tune in and listen to those Blazer fans. They are something when that team gets it going out there. Haven't lost at home yet this year. Irving.
That's such a sensational play. Julius Erving was fouled way out at the top of the key out by the sideline. He still took the ball in and dunked that ball from about 2 feet above the rim. Well, the crowd is going crazy on that play. That's what they came to see.
You know, Keith, the doctor played one exhibition game here with Atlanta. Before he had all that contract trouble, went back to the ABA. Atlanta's got all kinds of all-stars on the floor, but unfortunately for the Hawks, they're playing for other teams.
Look at how high he gets above the rim there. Controlling the ball with his one hand. Just an unbelievable athlete.
David Skywalker out of Denver has turned the other doctor on. I want to tell you. Here's Bobby Jones of the Nuggets, had it knocked away and out of bounds by Irving. 121 now. It's a 10-point lead. Walton. Still 10, but controlled by the West. Hollins straight up on Dougie Collins. Trail it by 4 field goals. That time, lower center, so important right now. Pressure that man who's turned it around. Randy Smith.
That's good play by Collins, holding the ball up. They want to take as much time now as they can.
Inside of a minute now, Keith. And Collins rolls the hook shot in. Back to 10. 14 points for Collins. Boy, they just said, Randy Smith, if you're going to do it, we're going to join in. Thompson makes it 8. 48 seconds.
Billy Cunningham telling his team to spread out there. Just spread the floor out. Let Randy Smith work. And Hollins is quick.
You see Collins get back.
Incredible. Hollins is a really quick player, too. Stole the ball from Randy Smith.
Taken down by Collins. He is 6 of 6 from the field in this half. Billy Cunningham wants a timeout here with 20 seconds to go.
And obviously, let him go.
They're just going to slow it down. Jones coming over on Doug Collins. Collins flowing to the basket. He's down. Truck Robinson hooking. Irving.
Oh, foul!
Foul is called. Maurice Lucas there on Irving.
I think Julius wanted to take that ball on the follow and put a little slammeroo through there. Maurice Lucas had something else in mind.
So it's the last 4 seconds, and the Eastern Conference, after trailing all game, has come back behind Randy Smith, and our thanks go to producer Chuck Milton and director Sandy Grossman for their outstanding job on this all-star game from the Omni in Atlanta. Here's Dr. J, Julius Irving.
Julius got the last 6 points for the East team here, coming down the stretch. That's why you want him in the game. Going for his 8th in a row here with 4 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. He's got it. There he is. All over the floor, Julius Irving.
Didn't shoot well, but came back and helped give him a big lift, didn't he?
He sure did.
Lucas hits it as time runs out. We are 4 for 4 at the buzzer. That's something. 2 by Randy Smith, 1 by Davis and Lucas, and the East has won a good all-star game. 133 to 125. There he is, John Havlicek off to the right, just out of your screen now. His 13th and final all-star game. It's great to see these guys who make this kind of dough come down here and put out the way they did this afternoon. You don't think they didn't want to win? Look at that joy on their faces. Anytime you're an athlete, you want to win when you go out there. And meanwhile, Jack Ramsey said, I would have preferred to win, as they await now the award of the most valuable player.
Okay, my pleasure.
There they are posing. The winning coach, Billy Cunningham. Havlicek is about 3 years older than Cunningham.
John.
Havlicek being congratulated.
The young and the old.
And there he is, boy. I'll tell you, if they don't give him the card, the MVP, we're going to declare we want to recount down here in Georgia. I'm going to get Billy Carter to count the ballots. I'll tell you that. What a job he did. Total of 27 points, 6 assists, hit those 2 at the buzzer in the first half. There's the doctor waiting now for the computer. There's the trophy. The commissioner, Lawrence O'Brien, is out there. He'll present it. And there is the voting. Andy Smith getting a leg up. And it is official. Being congratulated by NBA Commissioner Lawrence O'Brien. Was there ever any doubt about it? Randy Smith of the Buffalo Braves. And for now, Keith Erickson, to further commemorate his outstanding performance this afternoon, the Atlanta Chevrolet dealers would like Randy Smith to drive home in his new 1978 Monte Carlo. For Keith Erickson, I'm Brent Musburger. So long from the Omni in Atlanta. The NBA on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.